Hi, so in today's video, we're gonna be talking about the ancient Indian sciences and how it influenced the world. So, to start with the video, first we'll talk about Syed al-Andalusi. He was a Muslim, a historian, a mathematician who was interested in astrology. So, in the year 1068, he made his book, Tabaqat al-Umam, which means the book of the category of nation. In this book, he analyzed the scholarly contributions of different nations. And guess what? The Bharat, the Hind, the India was on the top of the list. The people described in his book included the Persians, the Egyptians, the Chinese, and many more, the Romans and the Greeks. In his book, he said the Hindus, as known to all nations for many centuries, are the mental essence of wisdom, the source of fairness and objectivity. They are people of sublime pensiveness and useful rare information. In giving examples for this, he mentioned the disciplines of mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and of course, how can we forget the invention of chess? In his book, he also said, the first nation to have cultivated science is India. This is a powerful nation having a large population and a rich kingdom. Hind is known for the wisdom of its people. Over many centuries, all the kings of the past have recognized the ability of the people living there in all branches of knowledge. I will attach some pictures related to this topic on the screen, so if you want to read them, feel free to pause the video. Further, in the year 2000, the American Association for the Advancement of Science tried to compile 100 scientific findings that had impact on the world. And for this, only 2 studies were selected from the non-Western part of the world. First was the invention of zero, and second was the astronomical invention of Hindus and the Mayan sky watchers for the development of agriculture and for religious purposes. And guess what? Both of them were from India. You might have heard about the Plato, Archimedes, Aristotle, and Pythagoras, about so many European scientists. But have you ever wondered why there are so many less or inventions, scientists, or connections to the Asia? Needham, who was a popular British biochemist and a historian, raised a question. Needham questioned, why did modern science, the mathematization of hypotheses about nature with all its implications for advancement technology, take its meteoric rise only in the West? At the time of Galileo, had not developed in Chinese civilization or Indian civilization. Needham tried to answer his own question in his book and also said that there are no such efforts taken to consider the Indian sciences in the Western world. Roger Bacon, a noted Franciscan natural philosopher from England, wrote in his book that India was a leader in science. You might be knowing some things like the number system and the place value notations was first invented in India. Nicolaus Copernicus, in his book On the Revolutions, used Hindu numerals in mathematical computations to provide a heliocentric model of solar system. He noted the usefulness of the system over the Greek and Roman number system. Several hundred years ago, Leonardo Fibonacci wrote a book and introduced the Hindu methods of numeration and computation to the Western world. You might be well aware of the work of Aryabhatta and his contribution in the Indian mathematics. When we are talking about Aryabhatta, how can we not talk about trigonometry? He used half of an arc and the radius of a circle to determine the sine of an angle. Before Copernicus, Aryabhatta also assigned the motion of the earth. He considered that the motion of the planets and he considered the motion of the stars to be stationary. Carl Sagan, a noted astrophysicist, wrote, The Hindu Dharma is the only one of the world's great faiths dedicated to the idea that the cosmos itself undergoes an immense, indeed an infinite number of deaths and rebirths. It is the only dharma in which time scales correspond to those of modern scientific cosmology. Its cycles run from our ordinary day and night to a day and night of Brahma, that is 8.64 billion years long, longer than the age of the Earth or the Sun, and about half the time since the Big Bang. At the end of the video, I would just like to mention Charaka, Sustruta, and Kautilya's work too. They documented chemical transformation in which oxidation, reduction, sublimation, distillation, and I don't know what not was involved. I will mention it on the screen. Charak in his Charak Samhita lists gold, tin, zinc, iron, and many more metals and non-metals in the making of drugs. Kautilya describes the role of mining as the sound economy. The so-called plastic surgery and cataract surgery found its root in the ancient India. So, at the end of the video, I would just like to read one paragraph from the book Ancient Hindu Sciences by Alok Kumar. The paragraph goes like this. Some of the leading Western thinkers who studied the scholarly work of ancient Hindus and formed their own worldview based on it. Similarly, on the East were the leading scholars in China. These scholars are much known for their wisdom as their journeys to India to collect scholarly books. Similarly, on the West, Islamic followers were known as much for their scholarly activities for their efforts to introduce Indian wisdom to the Middle East. These Islamic scholars were quite honest in their books, as they should be, and openly acknowledged their gratitudes to the Hindus. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you learned anything from this video, do comment your views in the comment section, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you.